Ooh, what's good, Commanders fans? So just some quick updates today. I didn't get a chance to really listen to much of Josh Harris's presser. I did listen to some of the highlights of the presser. Of course, a lot of people are up in arms about what he said about the name change and or the lack thereof. And I just think a lot of people wanted the name to go back to Redskins, and a lot of people just held out so much hope. So when their dreams got crushed today, that really hurt them. And maybe people were just hyped for them to have a different name. It could be like the Red Wolves, or be changed to that or something like that. But I think the majority of the people who are very upset and people who are just going crazy on social media bad mouthing Josh Harris, which is insane. How can you bad mouth Josh Harris after the season that we just had? After him hiring Adam Peters, after him doing a due diligent search and finding Adam Peters and using the basketball guys to help him advise and do that and do a thorough search with Adam Peters and get a good coach in Dan Quinn, doing the right thing, letting Adam Peters be a GM. Like, Josh Harris has done the right things on the football field. He hasn't meddled in anything. He sat in meetings. I remember when people were upset about him sitting in meetings and stuff like that. Like, he was at the combine or whatever in the draft room just because he wanted to hear different things and listen in on meetings with players. Like, people were like, "Oh my gosh, is he doing too much?" But no, I mean, it looked like it worked out because he wanted to learn, because he's been in the basketball world so much. He just wanted to learn how football operations go in transactions and just meeting with players and stuff like that. And it worked out well this season. As you guys can see, we made it to the NFC Championship. So just him not meddling in things and just letting GMs GM and coaches coach and stuff like that from what we've seen so far. And starting over last year, making big trades last year, just getting draft capital for Chase Young and Montez Sweat. He was instrumental in that, and just letting the analytics guys do their thing. So I just don't see how you can really badmouth Josh Harris about a name. I just think that's pretty insane, guys. We haven't won a playoff game since 2005. Well, now, before this past season, and then we haven't made an NFC Championship in 33 years before this past season. So I just think for people going crazy over a name, in my opinion, is just kind of insane. Not kind of. I think it's insane. I really do. I know people are passionate about the name. I get it. I understand it. But at the same time, we need to focus on winning. When you've been bad for years and years and years, that should be the main objective. And like I said, for many, many years, I don't care if our name was the Cupcakes. I just want to win football games. In my lifetime, I didn't get to see the glory years. I know people who are older, or the majority of the people who are upset over the name, I didn't get to see the glory years. I didn't. I didn't get to see Joe Theismann while I was alive. I didn't get to see John Riggins. I didn't get to see Art Monk and Gary Clark and Ricky Sanders. I didn't get to see those guys. The Hogs. I didn't get to see none of that. I didn't. So for me, I just don't have that attachment to the name skins. I like the name skins, of course. But for me, I just want to see this team win. And as the Commanders, they're winning games. I don't really care if they were the Skins, Commanders, Washington football team. I just want them to win football games. That's all that matters. We have a quarterback now, so we can focus on that. We have players that we can actually go out there and trade for that want to come here. Like, there's a legitimate chance that we could get Myles Garrett. That Myles Garrett could be like, "Hey, I want to be a Commander." We actually have an identity now. We have a culture now. So I'm just ready to embrace that. It is what it is. I get it if people are upset because Dan Snyder helped choose the name Commanders. Ron Rivera was a big part of that too because of the whole military background. I get it. If you don't like the name because of that and you just think the name is goofy, so be it. You want to change it to a different name, so be it. But for people who are upset and bad-mouthing Josh Harris, I just think that's just I can't get with that at all. I can't get with that. We could just disagree and agree to disagree and have a difference of opinions. But everything that Josh Harris has done so far, for the most part, I think he's done the right thing for sure. He's done the right thing. He's personable. He's somebody that a fan can go up and talk to and shake hands and have a conversation with. That's something that we definitely didn't have from the previous owner. He'll go out and buy a beer for you and stuff like that. So I mean, he's just a personable guy. We've seen him in interviews where he's been lit and turned up during some of the preseason interviews on ESPN. He's been down on the field cheering and chopping up with the guys and stuff like that from what we've seen from the outside looking in. So he doesn't have a problem with talking to the normal common person. So that's huge from an ownership standpoint. We've seen how bad ownership has been. We see what the Panthers are going through. We see what the Cowboys are going through with bad ownership. So I think he's been transparent and honest about everything that has gone on so far. So those are my thoughts on it. I'll get to the actual quote. He did talk about the stadium a little bit. He said the goal is like 2030 or something like that, which is probably realistic. So I'll read one or two quotes, and I'll move on to Bobby Wagner. So Josh Harris says, right now in this building, the name Commanders means something. It's about the players who love football, are great at football, and hit hard. That name is growing to mean. If you went to the game against the Falcons, man, like it's fun being a Commanders fan. Or if you just want to say Washington, the light show, winning in overtime, just the atmosphere in the building, having a home field advantage, was just awesome. It really was. So if the name's going to be Commanders for now, for the foreseeable future, and we win 12 games again for the next, or at least 10 or 11 games for the next 4, 5, 6, 7 years, or 8 years that Jaden is the franchise quarterback, so be it. So be it. You're going to see Commanders on Thursday Night Football next year a couple times. You're going to see Commanders on Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. We're going to have a lot of national TV games, and the fan base is coming back, man. You see it. You see people are buying flags, buying gear. Everybody in the grocery store wearing gear and whatnot. So those are my thoughts on it, guys. I mean, like I said, if you're really passionate about the name being changed, then like I said, you can be passionate about it. Go ahead and do that. But to criticize Josh Harris about this, I just think that's egregious in my opinion. Josh Harris, very smart comments about the stadium. It's pretty obvious they want RFK, but if it doesn't happen, it happen fast. Maryland's a good option with a bunch of cash on the table. So Maryland's still on the table. I do think they will be back at RFK at that site. That's my thoughts on it. That's what I think is going to happen for sure. But yeah, he said the name is not going to change. So, but he did say the Commanders are looking to better honor the past and reconnect with the past. My read on that is the uniform changes. This is what JP Finley tweeted out. He also talked about some of the upgrades on the interview with the guy who was a Commanders reporter. Sorry, I don't know the guy's name. But yeah, BCTV on Twitter. His name is Brian Colbert Jr. So I want to put some respect on his name. He says, new wet area, showers, weight room, indoor football field in Ashburn, new locker room, new premium areas, change upper deck at Northwest Stadium. All that's going to go well above $100 million in stadium improvements. We know the ticket prices have been raised. Food prices have raised, but it just comes with having a better team and new ownership. This is just what's going to happen. So prices are going to keep going up and up. As long as we're a good team, prices are gonna go up and up and up. So that's just what it is right there. Yeah, Josh Harris said, is the name sticking around? Yeah, it's now being embraced by our team, by our culture, by our coaching staff. We're going with that with the Commanders. So that's just what it's going to be. He says there are very few things that unite the whole DMV and Washington Commanders are at the front of the list. So like I said, I haven't seen the fan base this passionate in a long time. That's one thing I will say. I have not seen that. And that's because we're winning games. We're a likable team. We're winning games. It's just what it is. All right, so real quick here, Bobby Wagner. So yeah, Josh Harris said they're sticking with the 2030 timeline for a new stadium. So Bobby Wagner is not going to retire. He posted this on Instagram. He said 13 seasons and the story's not done yet. And not done. He was at the press conference today for Josh Harris, so that's a good sign. I mean, if he wasn't coming back, I don't think he would go to the owner's press conference. He loves Jaden Daniels with a passion. Has a good relationship with Jaden Daniels for sure, where they joke around and make jokes and joan on each other and going on each other just in a joking way. They talk about basketball all the time and playing one-on-one and playing each other in basketball. So they love each other. They have a bromance, and it's kind of like an uncle-nephew kind of relationship. Bobby is really good friends he has a good relationship with Jaden Daniels' mom as well. They went to the Wizards game together. Bobby is his own agent. Jaden Daniels' mom is Jaden's agent. So they probably connect that way as well. So he has a good relationship not only with Jaden, but with his mom as well. And same thing with Dan Quinn, Ken Norton Jr. There's just a lot of ties there and a great relationship for sure. So I don't see Bobby going anywhere. I know some people are torn on Bobby, whether he should come back or not, because he definitely has slowed down. We saw the Saquon run. He struggled on that run just like the whole team did. But he's still a tackling machine. He's still an all-pro, still perennial Pro Bowler. Won the media award, just a good all-around guy. Fell on the fumble against Tampa Bay, which was huge because we don't fall on fumbles a lot. And he had the wherewithal and the presence of mind and awareness to get on the ball and put us in good scoring range. So that was good by him. 88.8 PFF grade, which was third among linebackers. 90.7 run defense grade, which was second among linebackers this season, a 90.6 pass rush grade, which was second among lowest. Among linebackers, 5% missed tackle rate, which was third lowest among linebackers. So he still had a good season. He did. Do we need to get some more speed at the linebacker position? You can still keep Bobby and draft another linebacker or sign another linebacker. Let's see what happens. Dre Greenlaw is a free agent, so let's see if Adam Peters works his magic bringing in Dre Greenlaw. I know he's coming off an injury, but we'll see. So I would keep Bobby Wagner. He's the captain. He's the captain of the team. Just him and Frankie have good chemistry as well. He's been a good mentor to Dominique Hampton and other guys like Jordan McGee. So I would definitely keep Bobby on this team for sure. Another 1-year deal is probably not going to break the bank. And then when he does retire, bring him in as a coach, just like we did with Ryan Kerrigan. So have him on that Ryan Kerrigan trajectory. I know Ryan Kerrigan didn't finish his career with the Skins, but I think he signed like a 1-day contract. But I would keep Bobby Wagner here. I think that's the best thing to do as our Mike linebacker, as the quarterback of the defense. I think he should definitely come back for one more season. One last hoorah. All right, you guys, as always, you guys let me know what you guys think. He had 2 sacks on the season. He had 132 tackles. He's just a tackling machine. He's a tackling animal. I know tackling isn't everything. I get it, because you could tackle somebody behind the line of scrimmage, and that's or behind the first down, and that would be that's a tackle. So, but another Pro Bowl season for Bobby, another All-Pro season for Bobby, and he definitely will do it again next year if he comes back. And he was at the presser, and he put that Instagram post out. So you guys let me know what you guys think. As always, Hail the Commanders. Peace.